Advanced persistent threat attacks steal a company's most valuable asset, sensitive data. They are increasing in frequency, and the word on the street is, act as though your enterprise could be next. Hi, I'm Deborah Bulkley, Senior Managing Editor of the CSO Custom Solutions Group. Increasing cyber threats are top of the list of CISO concerns. The old ways of protecting data just can't keep pace with the new methods of attack. I spoke with Eric Tocatlian, Vice President of Sales for ActivIdentity, part of HID Global and a leading provider of identity assurance solutions, about how he advises his customers and what they are most concerned about.
What's interesting is that our customers are mainly concerned about the new ingenuity of those attacks, not so much their numbers. And they used to have their perimeter defenses be the main point of protection against attacks. In this new evolving world of 2011 in particular, where some of the most reputable security vendors have themselves been breached by hackers, there is an increased concern that the old authentication paradigm, the hardware token, is not just good enough anymore. The rise of advanced persistent threats, which specifically some of our customers and the wider world of government contractors have been subject to, is putting a new spotlight on the need for alternative means of authentication.
So what recommendations can you give companies who want to increase the effectiveness of their security solutions to keep up with these increased threats?
Well, certainly you want to understand what's happening, and you want to make sure that whatever you're working on or planning to implement as a security policy and an authentication solution is well catered to protect the enterprise against those new threats. So authentication based on hardware tokens at the perimeter of the network is not good enough anymore. You want to go beyond that. Two things which are essential. The first one is being able to provide a layered approach to authentication and make sure that authentication can be implemented and leveraged at every point or level in the network. Starting with the workstation itself, moving on to the network through the perimeter, but also applications, whether those applications are internally managed, residing on a corporate server, or whether they are outsourced or externalized, such as cloud applications. So one wants to make sure that any authentication solution they're looking to implement can cover those various levels. Another key element is the versatility in terms of the platforms and the devices, the use cases, which will be needed to take into account or to cover moving forward. We're not just using PCs anymore. And like you may be using a smartphone, a tablet to access corporate data. Many of our customers, the vast majority of them, including government customers, are faced with what some call the consumerization of IT. Users, employees bringing their own personal devices into the network. And there's no way against that. That is one trend that has to be embraced. So clearly that's another changing factor in today's enterprise environment. And that requires for new security solutions, new authentication methods.
This is all great information. So now give us some examples of customers who have made some changes and have improved their security as a result.
This concept of identity assurance, which we communicate about, which we are about as ActivIdentity and HID Global, is all about providing for those essential requirements we talked about, the versatility and the multi-layered approach. Some of our customers are leveraging those aspects of our solutions to the max. Recently, one of our largest customers, who also happens to be one of the largest government contractors, have decided to accelerate the deployment of smart cards throughout the enterprise. I'm referring here to Northrop Grumman, who pretty much, since 2009, have started working on the implementation of smart cards throughout the enterprise. But what happened in 2011 certainly triggered an acceleration of that deployment. So getting rid of token is a hot topic right now. And we see many of our customers do that. We also see some of our customers wanting to be able to leverage an external service, a cloud-based service for authentication. This is something that, as part of HID Global, we are now making available to government and, as we move forward, to a wider community of customers.
So Eric, why should a company consider ActivIdentity for a security solution? What differentiates your technology from what others offer?
Well, we talked about versatility and a multi-layered approach to authentication. In that respect, we tick all the boxes. So it's not about a hardware token for perimeter security or remote access anymore. It's about providing authentication throughout the enterprise for multiple use cases, and be it for mobile workers using, why not a token again, or a USB key, or a smart card to access the network from a distance, all the way to IT administrators having to use the highest level of security to access sensitive corporate data or servers. We provide it all. Besides that, we also make a key element of a successful identity assurance policy or solution now affordable. In the past, anyone wanting to deploy the best in security, which is smart cards, would have had to go through a difficult, challenging, costly exercise in implementing a credential management component or server. We make that really affordable and accessible to everyone now. We've worked hard for the last 2 years in terms of R&D and marketing and positioning in encapsulating the value of our credential management software into a very simple, easy to deploy and affordable box. It's the CMS appliance. Now, in addition to that, being part of HID Global, we also bring to market an entirely new proposition. We're the only company that can bridge between physical access and logical access. That means IT security. And as a differentiator, that makes us pretty unique. No one else, in fact, in the industry can provide for the same array of technologies, products, services as we do.
Where do you see the security market going in the future?
Looking at the American market in particular, we see the rise of such standards as PII becoming more prevalent, not just in the original community that they were designed for, which is government contractors, but also reaching now a wider circle, a bigger community of users. We have expressions of interest from many customers, our enterprise customers like any other. They may be in financial services, utilities, oil and gas. So the adoption of stronger security standards is definitely something that we see happening right now.
Now, you've mentioned that ActivIdentity is part of HID Global. What is the significance of that for your enterprise customers and just in general?
Well, first of all, it's not just any news, it's great news. It's good news for everyone. And ActivIdentity and HID for sure, but also the market is very excited. Our partners are excited. For the first time, there's one company which is capable of providing a comprehensive set of skills, tools, and solutions to bridge between physical access and logical access. Many had tried to do it before, many had wished, to implement it, but would find it extremely difficult and costly to bring those two worlds together. As one entity now, we have a unique opportunity. And in fact, we've become a unique vendor, providing for everyone the ability to access under one roof. The extent of, again, tools, technologies, services, and support which are required to successfully implement a converged solution. So the one badge is not just theory anymore, it's something that we can provide to everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you, Eric. This has been a very interesting conversation.
Thank you.